This is the Lee Mock Trial Interest Meeting. My name is Mia, and I'm one of the co-team captains, and the other co-team captain is Nathan. So, the mock trial equation. Mock trial is an athletic sport because we compete in a lot of competitions and scrimmages, but it's that plus a drama club and speech and debate, and that's mock trial for you. And so if you don't know much about mock trial is basically just a simulated court case. So each year we get a criminal case. So for example, last year we got a murder case, and then we study it, we figure out a theory of the case. And so a theory of a case is basically each side, the defense side and the prosecution side, they have to figure out what their argument is and what they believed what happened. And they have to figure out an argument that would help either side to either defend the defendant or prosecute the defendant. And so we have to prepare to act out the trial against another team in competition or in more casual scrimmages against other high schools as practice. So an example of this would be our prosecution team will compete against another school's defense team and vice versa, with our defense team against their prosecution team. And this year, due to the pandemic, we are going to be competing through Zoom in a tournament hosted by Santa Clara County Courthouse. And it's still going to be in front of real judges and real attorneys who are going to be scoring and judging you. So you'll still get that really amazing opportunity because they'll also be giving you advice and how to fix certain things and just things like that. And you can ask them questions too. Okay, so the rules. There are 2 pretrial attorneys, 6 trial attorneys, 8 witnesses, 1 bailiff, and 1 clerk. And along with these rules, we are also making available understudy roles. So basically, these are just roles that you're going to be put in if we see that you have a lot of potential, but there's not enough space to put you into these roles. So you'll be put as an understudy. And you'll just learn about the role that you're interested in for you to perform in scrimmages or for next year. Okay, so the pretrial attorneys. They basically argue about constitutional issues within the case. So for example, last year they argued about a Fourth Amendment issue. And they'll mainly work with the other pretrial attorneys and attorney coaches. And for this role, it would be really good for you to be able to think fast on your feet because the judge will be able to interrupt you, ask you questions, and challenge what you're saying and what your argument is. And so this is also a really good role for you if you're analytical, if you're able to hold a lot of details in your head because you're going to have to be pulling information from multiple cases. And if you're interested in law as a career, definitely this one. And also if you're just interested in the Constitution in general. So, the trial attorney role. This is the role that I've been assigned to during my years in mock trial. It's a team of 3 attorneys for both sides, the defense side and the prosecution side. And basically, they'll conduct direct and cross-examinations, but also opening and closing statements. So the examinations are just them questioning the witnesses on where they've been, and it's both the opposing witnesses and also their team witnesses. And so for this role, you're going to be learning a lot and enforcing the rules of evidence. So for example, you're going to be making a lot of objections and arguing objections. So the witness role. Each witness is going to get a witness statement, and they're going to have to memorize this statement and be able to testify to it. And each witness will be able to pull out a role and a character from their witness statement, and so they'll have to act it out. And so if you're interested in acting, or you're good at acting, or you have a background in drama, this is a really good role for you. So things that the witness has to do is they have to know their witness statement and answer questions on the stand. So you'll also have to be able to think on your feet because the opposing side and attorneys will have to ask you questions and you have to answer them so that it'll be beneficial to your side. So the bailiff. they call the court to order and swear in witnesses. They're basically like the policeman in the courtroom. So they keep control of the courtroom, and they also have a backup timer, which I'll talk about when I talk about the clerk. And so they do interact with the judge in the beginning of the trial. So for example, they'll bring a rule book to each trial for the judge's reference, and they'll introduce themselves to the judges and things like that. And then the clerk, this is what I brought up, how we have to time the trial because it can't go on forever. We do have to time each like examination, each closing statement. Those are just examples, but yeah. And then so they'll time the trial and enforce time limits, as you can see in the right picture, with these little cards, and inform the attorneys of remaining time. So the practices. The practices will be scheduled depended on who makes the team, and each practice will so far be after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 7:30, and they're going to be later in the season. So the season will run from like September to February. And then this year, due to the pandemic, we will be having our meetings through Google Hangouts and Zoom. And so the time commitment. Mock trial is a really big time commitment. And so if you're thinking about joining the club, make sure that it'll be a club that you will have to invest your time in. It's not just going to be like one of the other school clubs where you just sit and like listen to them talk and just don't do much, because like we are going to be competing, and you're going to have to invest time into actually learning the material. And so the pretrial attorneys and the attorneys in general will have the largest time commitments because they will be creating their arguments and learning about their different roles. And the witnesses, while they don't have as big as a time commitment, they still need to commit a lot of time into fulfilling their roles and developing an actable character. And the bailiff and clerk, they're still really important roles, but they don't have a large time commitment. And so basically they will act as understudies until the competition this year. And we had a lot of questions during the meetings asking about whether or not you can participate in other clubs and activities along with mock trial, and the answer is definitely yes. I know for sure that I did other stuff while doing mock trial. So for example, I did cross country my freshman year, and I also did winter percussion my sophomore and junior year. So it's definitely possible. But if your meetings with these other clubs and activities interfere directly with mock trial meetings, then we will probably make you an understudy instead of an actual role that'll actually compete. And so why should you join? Well, first of all, it's challenging, and if you're looking for a good challenge, this is definitely a club to audition for. It will challenge you analytically, and you'll have to learn a lot of new information that you might have not have known before. And then it's also one of the tightest teams that you'll work with. I know for sure that I met a lot of my friends from mock trial, and we also do a lot of team bonding. So for example, last year we went to Santa Cruz and we ate and talked and just hung out on the beach. And then you'll also learn a lot about the justice system. So our coaches were attorneys, actual attorneys. And so you'll have a lot of opportunities to ask them questions and also just use them as a resource. And so, and also it really helps with improving your public speaking skills and critical thinking skills. I definitely know when I started off my freshman year, I was really shaky with public speaking, and I didn't know how to speak in public or in front of a large crowd. And being forced to do that in front of a judge and a score and a bunch of scoring attorneys, my public speaking skills definitely got better. And if you're interested in this, it looks great on your resume, especially if you're looking to major in something poli-sci related, or if you're interested in law as a career. But just in general, you don't have to be interested in law. I know I'm not, to be a part of mock trial and have it look good on your resume. And yes, mock trial is a really fun club to be a part of. There's a lot of moments that I remember and just are really fun. And so yes, I probably mentioned it before, but you do have to audition in order to be a part of this club. We will email out audition. Oh, you got this in the email, but along with this email that I sent out, there will be spreadsheets for you to sign up for. The audition times will be September 21st to September 26th. They're going to be after school starting at 4 p.m. And along with this email, you'll also see instructions and materials. If you have any questions about that, please just ask either me or Nathan. You know our emails. And so this year, the auditions will take place through Zoom. So you'll be able to meet our coaches because they're going to be the ones judging you. So you should definitely prepare and definitely audition if you're the slightest bit of interested, because I know I didn't know anything about mock trial my freshman year, but I auditioned for the trial attorney role and I really surprised myself because I got in and I was thrown into this thing that I knew nothing about, but it was really fun and I grew a lot from it. And so we will be hosting audition workshops on September 15th on Tuesday. They're going to be happening through Zoom. We'll send out the link for that. And basically, it's just going to be a space where you can ask questions and work with past mock trial team members to prepare for your audition. And our coaches will also be there, so you'll get to meet them there as well and ask them questions. And so, yeah, if you have any questions, just email us and we'll be happy to see you at either the workshop or the auditions.